Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be comparing a Jeep Gladiator Mojave against a Jeep Gladiator Rubicon. I know that a lot of people might get confused because these are super similar, but there are some differences. We're going to go over those in today's video. A huge shout out and thank you to the Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler here in Provo, Utah for providing us with both these Gladiators. Check out their inventory in the link below. Let's get right into it. Now let's go into the hoods of both of the Jeeps. We'll start over at the Mojave. So under the hood, we have a naturally aspirated 3.6 liter V6. It goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy 17 around town, and then 22 on the highway. Coming over to the Rubicon, we have the same exact engine, same exact power outputs. All of that is the same. Now for 2021, you will be able to get a diesel engine option in the Gladiators, but for right now, the 3.6 liter V6 and the 8-speed automatic transmission, well, you can also get the 6-speed manual too, but 3.6 liter V6 is all you got. Now let's go over the front end on both of the Gladiators, and there's very minimal in terms of differences between the front ends of both of the Gladiators. So starting with the Mojave, the thing you guys will notice first and foremost is the Mojave badging, and then the hood scoop as well, just for stylistic purposes. And then you've got the LED lights on this particular one with little LED accent lights, Jeep grill, all of that. Now notice that it's orange tow hooks for the accenting, and then this one has the plastic bumper for the front end. Now coming over to the Rubicon, notice that the hood's a little bit different, so the venting is a little bit different. Again, not exactly real, but it still looks pretty cool. Rubicon badging instead of Mojave. Still got the LED lights, the grill, all of that still looks the same, but this one, steel bumper and red tow hooks, so red, orange. Now let's go over the tires and wheels on both of the Jeeps. So we've got 285mm tires, 285mm tires, they're both 33s. 17-inch wheels, 17-inch wheels. But you guys will notice first and foremost, the wheel design is a little bit different on it. And by different, I mean it's mostly the color. They look pretty similar, just different coloration. And then the tires themselves, you guys can kind of see the difference in the tread pattern on both of the tires compared to the Rubicon. This is the Rubicon, remember, and then this is the Mojave. So yeah, there's that whole thing. Now let's actually go down the sides of both of the Gladiators so you guys can kind of see the rest of the differences. So again, notice that you've got the red accenting versus the orange accenting right there, and then everything else though pretty much the same. And let's head to the rear. And here's a key fob for the Mojave. Notice that you've got the unlock, the lock, the remote start function, and then the Jeep logo there on the back of the Mojave, and a little flip out key as well. Now you guys will notice the next thing is the remote start, so just press that twice and then it'll lock it, and wait for it, the 3.6 liter V6 will come to life, and then you press that again and that'll shut it off. Now as we unlock it, you guys will notice that this is actually really slow lowering, and you can see that you can get a bed liner as an option. This one doesn't have it though. LED bed lights here in the back, you got a full power outlet right there as well, and then you can see kind of like the rear window, and then the tailgate itself is actually really light and easy to get into place. Now I'm not going to go over things as much here in the Rubicon because you guys will notice the only difference is this one has a bed liner, no power outlet right there, exhaust is all the same, all the functions on the key fob are the same, and that's for that part of the back. On this part of the rear, I just wanted to quickly mention the different stylistic things, and really it's just color. So again, you've got the orange with the Jeep logo and the tow hooks, red with the Jeep logo and the tow hooks, and other than that, the rear ends, I mean, if you don't know much about Jeeps, then you're going to be like, same car. Let's get into stuff with the suspension. So front rear lockers on the Rubicon and sway bar disconnect, no sway bar disconnect, only rear lockers. So there's the first performance difference. Now this one just has the regular performance Fox shocks for the suspension, so you guys can see what that looks like. This one has the internal bypass Fox shocks. You can see right there the difference in the shocks here in the rear. And then if I pop over here into the front, you can again see the slight difference with the shocks. So this one obviously is going to be better for rock crawling, all that kind of stuff. This one's going to be better for high speed. And well, that's all for that part. Well, now let's go into the backs of both of them, and I'm just going to go quickly over this because you guys are going to notice they're super similar. The biggest difference, stitching is orange. Again, stitching is orange here, but you guys will notice here in the back of the Mojave, and you guys will see this in the Rubicon, most of the stuff though here in the rear is going to be pretty much identical between the two Jeeps. So coming over to the Rubicon, guys notice the difference is stitching is red. Again, stitching is red. Everything else is all the same here with the rear, so there's really not a huge difference in terms of the rear. Again, it's mostly the suspension and a little bit with the exterior. Now coming to the front of the Mojave, you've got keyless entry, all that fun stuff, blind spot monitoring, and then again, you will notice with the orange stitching, you've got all of the controls for the mirrors, and then your door lock and unlock controls. The seats, they say Mojave on it, and again, the orange stitching, the Mojave is going to be pretty big difference here in the front. There is some other stuff that's a difference. Now, stepping in, it's really easy to get in here with the Mojave, and, well, let's start her up and go over all this fun stuff. Starting with the steering wheel in the Mojave, you guys will notice the cruise control. You've got the controls, so center stack voice command controls, again, orange stitching, and then you've got the perforated leather with the smooth leather on the top and on the bottom. You've got a little stock for like the turn signals, for example, also for the high beams. Windshield wiper stock. Here's what the gauge cluster looks like, and here's the different bits of information you can go through on the gauge cluster. You guys will notice, again, this is going to be completely identical to what is on the Rubicon. You're not going to notice a huge difference with that. Coming over to the center screen, again, you notice that you've got like the orange accenting throughout the interior. And then if we go into the applications tab, you guys will notice that this, again, will be pretty similar with the controls, heated seats, heated steering wheel. Got that little backup camera, which you do get the zoom function. You can get a trail cam on these, which will give you the forward view on the Jeeps, which I think is definitely a really cool option to go for on them. And you can even have in that little section right there with it. And then you've got the controls like the dual zone climate. Coming down here, you've got all of your analog controls for the climate system, and you've got some other analog controls. So for example, you've got the off-road cruise control, parking sensors, stability control, auto stop start as well, and that's kind of like the infotainment section. Down here, you've got your window controls, you've got the little charging area, buttons for the auxiliaries, and then you've got your off-road plus. And remember, you only get rear lockers, you don't get front and rear. And then you've got the little shifter right here with the manual shift function. Coming down here, you notice that you've got the 2-wheel high, 4-wheel high, neutral, and then the 4-wheel low as well. You've got your e-brake, and again, you'll notice all the orange accenting with the stitching. Here's the center console. Pretty good amount of storage. Got a little USB in there. And then coming over here, regular glove box, and, well, other than the top here with the padding, got the T-top action. Sorry, Freedom Top. I always call it T-top by accident. Freedom Top. Universal garage door openers, and let's head over to the Rubicon. So coming into the Rubicon, I'm not going to mention all the stuff that's the same that I already mentioned over in the Mojave, so this is going to be a lot quicker for you guys. The biggest thing you notice is the red accenting all throughout here. So the red accenting with the stitching, all that kind of stuff. And then, oops, I did not mean to turn on the heated seat. It's like 100 degrees outside. Stop! Okay, anyways, coming over to the controls tab, you guys notice all this stuff. It's all the same, so you're not really getting a difference on any of this. And then coming here down below, you guys notice all this stuff is the same, but this is really the biggest difference. Front and rear lockers, and then also the sway bar disconnect. And this one doesn't have the insulation at the top, but it's got all the other stuff. So yeah, this is the Rubicon. Now let's quickly go over pricing. So the Mojave stickers for about $59,000, and then the Rubicon stickers for about $57,000. So they're roughly the same price, pretty close. When you option them out exactly the same, again, it's really close price wise. Now, obviously, we do have to pick a winner for today's video, and the winner that I'm actually going to pick is going to be the Rubicon. The reason I'm picking the Rubicon is it just has more uses in general. Yes, the high-speed off-road ability here of the Mojave is great. However, the Gladiator doesn't have really enough horsepower for it to be like a true high-speed off-road vehicle. So this one just makes more sense for like the actual vehicle itself. I know it doesn't look as cool. That definitely looks cooler. But yeah, the Rubicon's a winner. Anyways, again, a huge shout out and thank you to the Dodge Ram Jeep Chrysler here in Provo for providing us with both the Gladiators. Check out their inventory in the link below. I will see all of you in that next video. Now, I know the big question mark in everyone's mind is, well, what would be cool enough to be able to trade this in on? Because obviously you guys know the whole like limbo with my C8 Corvette order, and I will just tell you right away, it's not the C8 Corvette. That's still like, I don't know where that is. I still haven't gotten really any updates from Chevy, which kind of sucks, but you know, it is what it is. However, there's another car that was released kind of, well, yeah, it's released in the 2021 model year, so it's a 2021, and they've made some really cool updates to it, so it has more power, it drives better, and I think that it would be like just a cool car to have for the channel for a little bit until I get the C8, because I'm still planning on getting the C8. So I want you guys to guess what the car is. You guys will probably be able to guess pretty easy, but yeah, that's most likely what's gonna happen. And the cool part is it's actually less expensive than the Camaro. So not only will I be breaking even on the Camaro, making just a slight amount of money, but I will actually be saving myself a little bit of money by going for this other car because it's less money.